Hi guys, so in this video today I want to show you how we harvest our sunflowers, peas, broccoli and radish. So I'll show you, we got a couple trays here. Oops. We got a tray of sunflower right there that we'll harvest. And then we got a tray of peas right here. Got a tray of radish and then a tray of broccoli. So those will be the 4 trays we're going to harvest in this video. I'll show you guys the 3 different size containers or clamshells we have for each of those, and then how we store them in our walk-in cooler and the methods we use then to transport them in our coolers and the ice packs we use. So first things first, we just use a sharp knife and a knife sharpener. So this knife has been sanitized. That should be a better angle for you guys. So just always sharpen our knives each time before each tray, about 3 times. And then I like to just grab a handful and then just cut. So each time you cut, at least I always try to look at the bottom of them, you know, just see if there's any dirt or any roots or anything before you throw it in your dry bin. So you can see there's not too many hulls on these sunflowers. I'll give you guys a, that's actually a good idea. I'll put an upload on this video for our 5 tips that I have for making sure you don't have too many, like kind of that help remove your hulls. Some of the stuff I've found that helps minimize how many hulls you have on your sunflower when it comes to harvest. There we have our harvested tray of sunflower. I'll just go set it over with these other trays that I did earlier today. So once we have it in our dry bin here, we're going to put it in our wet bin, and then we'll use some metal racks just to help push the sunflowers down, and then we'll scoop out any hulls. So I'll just shorten my stand here so I can get you guys up on the counter so you can have a better view at it. Yeah, so that should work pretty well. So then we fill this in with cold water. I like it to be, you know, pretty cold. I guess as cold as the tap will go, just to get the field heat off the crop quickly. Find it improves the shelf life. I only want it in this water for 2 to 3 minutes before we throw it in the dryer. So I'll just finish filling this up a bit. That should be good. And then one thing to mention right there, right now we're only doing 1 tray of sunflower. Usually when we do this, we'll always harvest 2 trays of sunflower and dump them in here at a time. But just for the video, we're only doing 1. So you dump them in, you just kind of want to move them around with your hand. You guys, yeah, it's showing up pretty good. So you can see, you know, they're just kind of all floating on top right now. See if I can get even a better angle. There we go. So then these are the metal racks we'll use. We'll just set these in. We actually don't have that many hulls, but you can see they all kind of, you know, floated to the top. You zoom in there. You can see, there's a couple here, one there. So I'll just scoop these out quickly for you. I find it's actually easier with 2 trays of sunflowers. I find not as many of them can slip through the metal racks. When you only have 1, there's just that many less, I guess, stems, so you get more of the actual sunflower stems coming through. So it makes it harder just to scoop them out, because then you got the hulls and you also have the sunflower stems. So then I usually just pick it up, and then your bin will be quite a bit more full. So you just kind of move it around. You want to bring the sunflowers at the bottom to the top, and just so any hulls can come to the surface. Put these back down. One thing you don't want to ever do while you're doing this is like be squishing or like crushing the hulls. You always want to be, or sorry, not the hulls, the sunflowers as you're moving them around, because you're just damaging like the leaves and the stem. So anytime you're handling them or picking them up to put them in the washing machine to dry them, so you just want to be very careful. Just kind of like scoop them out with your hand, not like grabbing them and putting them in. So you can see, there's just some hulls scooped out. So that's probably good for this. Take these out. And then we just used the same kind of mesh bag, like a laundry bag will work. And then I just bring them over to one side here. This is when I find a lot of people have a tendency to like really just grab them and squish them, where instead you just want to, scoop them out with your hand. Whoops. Then we'll just zipper it up. So I missed a few there. I'll just grab these. And this one. Just let any of the water kind of run out before I move it to the washer machine. So then this is our Panda washer machine here that I talked about, kind of in the equipment that I would recommend off the beginning. So we'll just put it in there, and then I like to go turn it on. Caught up a bit here, so we'll turn it on, go to the spin cycle, and then we'll want to go to the procedure down to 4 minutes, and then we'll just hit start. And then she'll start. So when we set this up, there's no water or anything connected to it. It's just plugged into the electrical outlet, and then the drain hose is just right here. It just drains into that bucket, and then we empty that every now and then. So while these are drying, we do 2 4-minute cycles, so it's 8 minutes in total on the delicate, I believe it is, or spin only on delicate. So while that's drying, or those are drying, I'll set my camera back up, and I'll show you how we harvest the rest of our crops here. We got my containers there. And we got our scale. And we'll start with the broccoli. See if I can get this set up so you guys can see me cutting and weighing it at the same time. That should be good there. So between each crop, I just like to clean and sanitize the knife. So that's what I'll do now. Let's give it a quick rinse. And we'll spray it with our sanitizer solution. And I'll give it a quick sharpen. So these are our 20 gram sample trays. So I'll just zero it. And then for the broccoli, we actually do 12 grams in there. So we just cut, take a handful of it, just kind of cut. And then same thing, you want to just make sure you know there's no dirt or anything on the bottom of them. And then we just put them in there. So that right there is actually 16 grams, so that would be enough for that. We actually don't do the small sizes of broccoli very often just because, I mean, the container, it kind of looks like empty if you can see that. So we'd probably actually go something like maybe 20 or so. You'd have to decide and see how much, you know, when you, for your price and everything, but so that would be for the broccoli. Let's put it like that. And then we just put our lid on it. Now I'll set it over here. Actually, we'll put our label on it. So here's our broccoli labels. We'll just peel it off. And then we'll just stick it on. So that's our 12 grams of broccoli. There's our label. So our dryer quit the first 4-minute cycle for our sunflowers to dry them. So we'll go back to, there we go. We'll go back to program, spin only, put it on spin, and then we'll do another 4 minutes. Here's our radish we'll do next. Same thing, I'll just rinse the knife off quick with some water. Spray it with our sanitized solution. And then we'll do a 20 gram sample of our radish. You want to put your container on, zero it. And same thing, just take a handful. I should have sharpened the knife before this tray, but it's not too big of a deal. So I got way too much there. It should be a 20 gram sample, but it's 32, so I'd take some out and put in another container, but plan on only doing one for each, as I'll just take these home tonight to eat. So I'll just put a lid on there. One thing you really want to watch when you're putting a lid on is not to get like any of the stems squished in here. It just like really ruins the attractiveness of the container if there's like a squished stem. It's like flattened and any moisture is kind of like sitting on it. It looks bad, and it will actually rot quicker. So same thing, we'll put a label on that. So here's our radish label. Next we'll do our peas. So zero it again. Then we'll sharpen our knife. And then as with the other ones, you know, just always look at the bottom, make sure there's no dirt or anything like that. And there I went a little bit over on the peas. I went to 26, I'll show you. So if that happened, I would just take some out, put it in another container. But like I said, these are samples for myself and my family to eat tonight, so I'll just leave it at 26. I'll actually pinch a stem on the pea just so you can see, you know, what it looks like. So you can see, when it zooms in there, just right there, it's pinched, and you can see how it just doesn't look the best. So it's one thing, even right there, I got caught in the lid, it's pinched down there. So definitely want to avoid doing that, just for good presentation. And then I'll just slap one of our labels on. And when we're doing this, we'd always, you know, we have this little stamp right here. We just, that didn't work that well. I didn't push hard enough, but there's a little stamp for the date on there. So that's now 2 cycles in that Panda washing machine, the dryer, the spinner, I guess, for the sunflower. So I'll take those out. Try to think of, it would be a little bit different how we do this with the camera than the way we normally do it. So we just put some paper towel in the bottom of this tray here. There, you guys can see me, just to absorb any extra moisture. So we just dump the sunflowers out into the tray. I'll actually see, it should work actually if I bring you guys close to it. So we have 2 containers. One for, this is where all our hulls go in. You guys can't see that. And then this is just like our sorting one. So we just take a handful out of here. We'll put our container on there. For our sunflowers, since they don't get completely dry, we put a paper towel in there, kind of act like a absorbent pad. Still looking to buy some off of Amazon or somewhere if I can find them for a reasonable price. You just want to re-zero that. And then we just hand sort them. So you just put them in there. You want to kind of watch for anything like this, if you can see that little guy. Oh, it's not too bad, but some of them, they don't look the best. You want to watch for that. And kind of our goal here is just to sort them so there's no hulls, excuse me, no hulls in there for the customer, because it's not very pleasant to, when you're eating these, to bite down on a sunflower hull. So You know, like these are what we're trying to sort out. If I put all these back, and I'll show you guys. So it's kind of in there. You can see a couple of the hulls sitting there, like here's one and stuff like that. We just want to make sure there's no hulls in the container we're giving to the customer. So then I'll just make sure there's no stems going to be squished. So just like that. And then I think this probably doesn't look the best. That's why I'd like some sort of, it'd be nice if there's like a green kind of pad to absorb the moisture or something. Something that looked, well, I guess more professional than paper towel, but it's working for us. Nobody's complaining, so. And then we'll just, there's our label for our sunflowers. So I'll just move all this to the side here. Actually, I can probably just show you guys over here instead of moving everything. So here's all our different sizes. Put that down there. So, you know, there's our 20 grams of our peas. And then the next size we have is our 60 gram. And then the biggest size we have is 150 grams for the peas. So these, when we're going like, so you guys can see me. Oops. So the 20 grams sizes is like if we're trying to get new subscription members, or when we sent out mailers in the mail and stuff like that, we'd say, like, you know, a free 20 gram sample of peas, sunflowers, and radish. If you respond to this email and let us know like where you live, we'll drive and deliver these to you. That's when we did 20 grams. We went around town giving people free samples of these. When we first got into grocery stores, we would bring our products, so our 60 gram containers is what we sell at the grocery store. And we'd bring enough of those for kind of stock the shelves as a trial, and then we'd bring 1 to 2 coolers. So it was like 60, I think there's 60 of these we had for each one. I'd have to go back and check, but it was a lot of samples. And then what the produce manager would do, or the personnel who work in produce, they would give these to the customers to try them for free. And that really helped us kind of get like our foot in the door, because they were new in my community, so not a lot of people were aware of them. And then once we got that initial traction, that people tried them and they liked them, then they started telling their friends, and then it really took off from there through word of mouth. So same thing with our radish. We got our 20 gram sample, and we got our 60 grams that these are what we sell at farmers markets and grocery stores. And this one's actually for a grocery store. You can see we got our barcode on there. And then these are the large ones. We have 150 grams as well. And then same thing with our sunflower. We got the 20 grams. We got our 60 grams. And we got our 150 grams. When 150 grams is what we deliver to, there are a few subscription members that'll take 150 grams of some of our crops. And then, but primarily it's for our restaurant customers. We'll use these and deliver 600 grams a week to some restaurants. And that's what we use these for. And then the last one we have is our broccoli. So this is 12 grams. We haven't actually done much with the broccoli in that size yet. And then this is what we primarily sell at the grocery store, farmers markets, the health food store, subscription service. And this is 35 grams. Did you guys saw that? So it's a little bit less in there just because the yields are less than the sunflower, pea, and radish. And then our broccoli, instead of 150, is 88 grams for the same reason. So those are our 3 sizes, how we package them. So I believe these are 16-ounce containers, 12 or 16-ounce containers. And then that's what we hold our 20 grams in. These are the 60-gram containers are the 24-ounce. And the peas, I want to say, are 64-ounce. It'll be in that, the video where equipment required is when I tell you guys the size of the containers that are needed. So I think it's 12 or 16, and then 24, and then 64. That's in like fluid ounces or fluid weight. And then that's what we do our 20, 60, and 150, and if that makes sense. If you have any questions, just let me know in the Facebook group, and I'll try to clear that up for you guys. But so that's how we package all them. It's them right there. And then this is the little fridge we were using when we first got started, which was quite a nightmare. You know, very quickly it became just unruly. It was just fitting as many in there as we could, moving them as quickly as we could. And then we had this coolers. We didn't have this walk-in cooler yet. So we had these coolers right here. We'll take one out. This one should be empty. So just put this down. So we have these coolers. We just have like this piece of chloroplast I got from like a sign making shop in town. It was like $4 for these. And then we just have ice packs in there that we got from people who order HelloFresh, and our pharmacy gave us to those for free because the medication comes in with a bunch of ice packs and they don't know what to do with them because they get so much of them. So they're quite happy for us to take them. So when we first got started, we had all our product in coolers, and you can see why in here. There's that cooler. There's 1, 2, 3, so 4 coolers here, and I have another 3 coolers at home, which is a lot of money spent in coolers when you could just have a walk-in cooler, which I understand a walk-in cooler isn't cheap, but either is coolers. So that's why now we have this walk-in cooler. Store's gonna close, and it's made a tremendous difference for us. Just because now we can, like any crops to get ahead of schedule, like our radish, our peas, and then there's our alfalfa up there that I should probably water. Looks like some of it's fallen over. And any crop, like last night, we went to a farmer's market. So when you get home at, I don't know, 9 o'clock, 9:30, you don't really feel like dealing with it at that time. You can just throw it in there. You can sit in there. So that's usually what we do. You know, before when we had the fridges and the coolers, we would be like, we had deliveries on a Monday, we'd harvest a bit on Monday, and then we'd be trying to like grow crops for Wednesday for the farmer's market, because we had no way to slow them down really, so we're always harvesting so much more frequently, where now it's just, we grow up for a Monday, it's a Monday harvest, and that's what we do. Like we harvest enough for farmer's market, our restaurant deliveries on Tuesday, farmers markets are on Wednesday, and all our Monday deliveries on a Monday, and then the rest, like those products that we harvested on Monday, just sit in the walk-in cooler until they're ready on Tuesday and Wednesday. And same with the grocery store. If we got to top them up on a Thursday, we'll just pull out of the walk-in cooler. So it's really made our work life a lot simpler and a lot more streamlined. So what else is there? I guess when we transport them, you've seen in the cooler how we have that piece of plastic with those ice packs. That's how we transport them to the subscription service, the grocery store, farmer's market. We just throw them in like that, and then they stay cold and we go do our deliveries. I think that's really it for that. So the main things is, you know, when you're harvesting, make sure your knife is sharp. I'm still looking for a good knife. I think I found a pretty good one, just like a normal utility knife. There's probably something better that I'm not aware of. So Make sure your knife is sharp. Don't get any dirt or anything like that in there. You know, try to remove your hulls. It's just better for your customers, and that's always the main thing there, how much they enjoy them. And we still get hulls in them. We're not perfect. I've eaten some of the ones that, you know, didn't sell at the grocery store and brought them home and tried them out and found a hull in there. So we're definitely not perfect, but we try our best to get as many of the hulls out as we can. And in the next video, I'll show you guys how we sanitize those trays. Right now it's still raining outside. It's been raining all day. I don't know how this camera will do outside, so it might be another day where I show you guys that. But yeah, thanks for watching, you guys, and we'll talk to you later.